Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the To Hull and Back podcast, proudly sponsored by Old Zoological Bar in Hull. It's just me and Chris tonight. Everyone else is off doing other things or with broken internet and stuff like that. So it's me and Chris picking up the pieces from what has been broadly a very good week. We've got a lot of material to chat about, haven't we, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, God, since we've been last on, obviously we've had the Leicester game and Charlton, both a lot of talking points. I'd say two very different games as well. I'm not meaning with respect to the opposition. I mean, even with ourselves, it's two completely different games and two different styles. So there's definitely a lot to cover there, Joe. Yeah.
Well, we'll touch on Leicester first, shall we? AD, Paul, Jan, Chris and James had a look at it on Wednesday. Look, if I offered you, Chris, 4 points out of these two games this week,
snap your hand off.
Said yes. Yeah,
snap your hand off. Yeah,
100%. And we got the win against Leicester. I think the first thing I want to say is Abdul Fattah, who's a pussy, putting stuff like that on Instagram. That's just embarrassing. And Marty Cifuentes told him so by the sounds of things. Like, that's just poor. I get he has got a point about referees protecting players, but come on, when you post a picture of your foot with a stud mark in it, which happens to all footballers.
Yeah. Every single footballer gets, it's kind of like, come on. Yeah.
Anyway, Liam Miller getting his first goal back from injury, nearly 2 days short of a year on from when he did his ACL. I thought that was special, and especially the dummy by Matt Crooks, which he absolutely meant.
It was the words right there. Yeah, actually, Joe, you've said the right word. Special. It was a brilliant to be, first start back against a very tough opposition. And obviously the ball kind of came to him nicely, but the way to finish it, going through that kind of pack of defence and around the keeper with the power and the pace and just the general game he had overall as well, was just electric. It was electric. I mean, everyone was buzzing for him, everybody. And he kind of started the old, I guess, the high energy from the fans turn around of, well, Miller's back. We can do what? Come on, come and have a go. If you think you're hard enough, kind of mentality from the fans. Dare to dream was definitely thrown about by quite a lot of people. I mean, we can definitely dare to dream. Definitely dare to dream, especially with how we've been playing at the moment. But having Miller back on Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday night. Yeah, that my brain was going. That was Tuesday night. It's all merged into one big mess now, hasn't it? Really? Yeah. It definitely has. It's just lovely to see. It was lovely to see. I would say, may it continue, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Well, after that, obviously, Crooks' slip meant he's injured as well, and he might have to have surgery on something related to that, which would keep him out for 2 or 3 months. But sticking with Leicester, Gelhardt made it 2, his second in 2. Against Charlton, he'd go and make that 3 in 3. But
got to love Gelhardt at the moment, haven't you? You've got to love him at the moment. It's that thing as well with Joe, where Joe Gelhardt, he wanted to be at the club, as we've all known. It's all been stated. And you can tell, yeah, exactly. And the football that he's playing and the energy and the effort, when you want to see a footballer trying and giving that effort and doing everything to get the goal or get that ball back or running all where he can, he's everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere. If he loses the ball, he's chasing it down. If we've already got possession of the ball, He's running into those channels. He's running into that space. He's running to an area to receive a pass. He's doing everything. Been deeper as well. I noticed that at Leicester, where he was coming in a bit more to drop to receive the pass to turn his man and keep going. You've got to keep loving Joffrey at the moment. I don't know any fan that will turn around and say, "No, we don't want him next season."
No, there's no one.
No one would say that.
And the lad who played that ball to him as well. And first of all, the footballing in the build-up to that goal was absolutely unreal. It was just so quick, so structured.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful football. Sergei, it was Sergei ball meets prime Barcelona.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It really was. And the ball across from Ryan Giles was perfect. And I want to talk about Giles a little bit more when we get into Charlton. But it's just the thing with Ryan Giles is we say it every week, broken record, playing really well, sick, move on, which is exactly true. There was a little bit of worry with his injury. And I thought Acun for Mayo, when he got subbed on, a little part of me thought, oh, centre-back at left-back against arguably the best winger in the league.
Joe, I don't think it was just you thinking that. I think there was another 20,000 people behind you thinking that as well, to be honest.
And to be fair, he didn't do too badly, but he definitely got away with a few things. Aided by the fact we just stuck 11 players in the box, and aided by the fact the referee didn't give what arguably probably could have been a penalty. But Famewo, he's now injured again. Shock. Who'd have thought Akin Famewo will get injured? Anyway, I thought broadly against Leicester we defended well. I thought Ajay dug himself out of trouble a couple of times. Hughes did the same. Drama coming in for Coyle. Injury related, he did well. But then coming to Charlton, Drama didn't do so well. He looked a bit lost. Why is it, Christian, when he's getting a run of games now, as he has done this season, that he didn't get last, or for the second half of last anyway, why can he still not find that consistency? Why is he still so consistently inconsistent?
Yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah, that's the thing. Look, we can sit in and try and come up with every different antidote in the world to kind of diagnose Drama from one game to the next game to the other game. Look, there's a player there in Drama. We all know there's a player there. He has a little kind of few traits that you do notice as well with Drama. One of which is running down the line, going to the byline and playing that quick ball across. The good old dirty FIFA goal style that he likes to do now and then. He has got pace. He has got a bit of skill. But I do believe positionally when things are changed up and he kind of has to, I don't know, try something. I don't want to say new, but try something a bit different that everybody else is doing. I feel that he's one of the lads that would take a bit longer to learn something like that, because obviously going into the game against Leicester versus Charlton, it was a different game totally. I mean, we're going to probably speak about the formation change and the reasons why and our speculations and the understanding of that in a minute. But when there is a bit of a change with personnel, people around him, you can see how he changes as well. And it's about link-ups, understanding where you need to be and things like that. So, look, it's unfortunate that it just take a little bit longer than everybody else, I guess, to get on that kind of consistency train. But it's still a player there. There is still a player there. He's good backup, isn't he? He's good backup. He's good. He's a good player to have. It's just the consistency when you need it just isn't there currently.
Yeah. Well, should we go to Charlton then? We've touched on Leicester. Only thing I want to say on that is Liam Miller, when Endala came on for Gelhardt or Joseph, it was that double change. Miller was so desperate to come off.
Yeah, he was.
You could see the arms go up.
The
You
arms
saw
in like that. Yeah, it was like, what? Not like you want me on that side? You're not taking me off. It was that kind of look. And
he was
like,
thinking,
well,
"Oh my God, please, thank you. I'm coming off. I am shattered." Wait, hang on, what?
Yeah.
And I think we've paid the price for his 100 minutes. He got more games than Balumi did. He got more minutes than Balumi did because he played around about an hour of football for Canada, 45 minutes for us, then another like 30 minutes for us against Birmingham. He got more minutes out of his hamstring before it went than Balumi did. But first things first on Miller just again. Documentary. Did you watch it?
I did all the way through from start to finish when it went live, that split second. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, my eyes were watering at the very, very, very end. So I am man enough to say it that I had a lump in my throat and I was like, don't worry, Liam. Don't worry, mate. Fine, mate.
You've done it, Liam.
That's all right, Liam. You've got it.
It was such a well put together piece.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it really was.
They got the tone exactly right. The fact that they went down with him to London a couple of times and got Miller to do his own stuff and explain him and Balumi doing their rehab in Italy. It was a really nice insight into his life for the last year. Will Piers, who everyone at the club has so much respect for Will, because he's good at his job, and you could tell there that he genuinely cares. It's not just a wage to him, and he was on board with helping all of these players. Got a little bit of a glimpse into what Balumi was up to as well, which was nice. The only thing I would have liked was, it depends if they could capture it, of course, but if there was an interaction between Miller and Matarzo in person, and how I'd liked a little bit of Matarzo in the documentary, but that's the only like editorial tweak or like bit of feedback that I've got. It was such a well thought out, well put together piece. And it's just a shame that with hindsight, the timing looks terrible. But as if you're the club, right? He's just scored his first goal back. People are invested in it. People are going to watch that. Why would you sit on that piece of content if it's ready? You've got a nice ending. He's come back. He's scored. Why would you sit on that? It made sense to put it out, and it's just unfortunate that the hammy went when it did. It's happened to Balumi. It's happened to Miller. Brace yourselves for it to happen to Matarzo as well. Just expect it to go at some point.
Yeah.
Because, the research backs it up. Rodri's done the same thing. Hamstrings are the most likely thing to go when you've had your ACL reconstructed.
Yeah.
Because, well, it's just science. I can't explain the science because that's not my job. I'm a journalism student.
It's just that amount of time out. It's just to do with that amount of time out. The muscles,
injuries
they've contracted
always
up.
Going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's 100% going to happen. Yeah.
And I'm just glad it happened here so that we can manage him from the start and not while he's gone away with Canada.
Yeah.
If there is something to take from it. But yeah, brace yourselves for Matarzo to come back, look bright, look sharp, and then we're going to lose him for 6 weeks because it's happened with the other two. We haven't got the extent of Miller's injury yet. If it's a strain like Balumi, it will be 6 weeks. If it's a tear, you're looking at slightly longer than that. Charlton then.
Yeah.
That system change.
Had to be done.
I think I get the logic behind it.
Yeah.
Because you're coming up against a team that play a back five, that play a low block, that are very good on the counter. That's how they score their goals. When they let teams come onto them and then just bang, lightning on the break. With our defensive frailties this season, it was worth trying that.
Yep.
And although the game was terrible, it was a really, really boring game, I thought, to watch. Even though it didn't, even though we don't really feel like it worked because it wasn't as good a game to watch, for 91 minutes, it did.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Joe, isn't it? Like, when I say it had to be done, I'm also referring to the amount of injuries in the players that we had available and the minutes they had in their legs to be able to do this. And when you look at the team, you look at your centre backs straight away, and you've got more centre backs fit than you have wingers and and fullbacks. So you're going to have to play that type of formation. And what was it? 3-4-1-2.
It was a 5. It was a 5-3-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty much a 5-3-2. It was a 5-3-2.
It was just to match Charlton, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was the thing. And Charlton did it very well. I'm going to give Charlton their kind of credit here with when they were attacking and that counter-attacking football. Yes, it was a bit boring with the fact of it was always a ball over the top. It was seriously always a ball over the top, especially the first half. It was just one-trick pony from them. However, they committed 4 or 5 players straight away against our back line when they were playing like that. And this is the type of thing that kind of instilled and backed up Sergei's kind of formation change for me. If they're committing that amount of numbers to players running forward when they're playing that style of football, you needed that amount of players at the back line just to contain that threat. So I know I saw that. Travis, you might get banned for that comment from me. No, I'm joking.
Is it Daniel in disguise making that we miss Longman comment in chat?
That's it.
I wondered why he couldn't come on tonight. He said he was busy.
He said he was doing that. Yeah, exactly. So it is down, obviously, to the amount of players that we do have available as well. It's kind of fitting in that. But great work from Sergei once again. Great work from Sergei. We always knew it was going to be a difficult game. Everybody was calling it a draw game, really, beforehand. Anyway, it was expected to be a draw.
Yeah.
And obviously praying for the win, as you know, Hull City fans. Of course, we're going to pray for a win. I just feel like everybody else, and like as you stated, Joe, a little bit boring to the point of we didn't have the attacking threat.
In that first half, I thought,
yeah,
this feels very Stoke when Matazzo scored early on last season under Ruben Sayers. I just thought,
you're right.
We're in control. We're not doing a lot with that control. Then as the game went on, we got more little half chances that went just wide or that the keeper was forced into a save. Ajay had one, and I want to talk about Shemi Ajay because him and Drama in that first 5 minutes, I was looking at them two, and I was thinking, oh my God, these two look like they've never kicked a football before. What are they like? What are they doing? I think this is why this is where I'm split from most of the fan base. A lot of people say, oh, Ajay's the best centre-back partner for Charlie Hughes. He's not. Because if you look at that Leicester game, he came in to give Egan a rest. It was a rotation rather than Egan was dropped. Shemi Ajay has a mistake in him. And it's not very often. It does happen. But it's not very often you see John Egan make a mistake that he's then got to chase back and nearly leads to a goal, or they nearly get a clear-cut chance out of. Plus, he stays fitter for longer. Shemi Ajay, it's an unpopular opinion. I know it is, but Shemi Ajay is not as good as John Egan. And
I'll give you that in certain aspects and certain attributes. Yes, I will give you that.
Just on Egan as well, separately, I'm of the belief that they're working on a contract, extending that contract for him. He's got a 1-year option, which, given our like constraints predicament. Thank you. It's going to be it'll be a case of, for all of them, like Egan's contract's up, Slater's contract's up, Coyle's contract's up. It'll just be a case of extending it, taking up that option, and then renegotiating a year's time when we've not got the salary cap, when we've not got the overall wage budget cap. But yeah, I think it's a positive thing that we're thinking ahead and trying to get these players tied down a little bit longer when things are going well. Moving on, Joffrey again. What was it, about 20 seconds less than into the second half?
That. Yeah, about that.
Crooks with the greatest assist of his life for the second game in a row. My head's gone. Another bit of impact in the build-up to a goal that he absolutely meant, because he just knew that when he made that tackle, it would bounce a bit skew with, and Joffrey would hit it. In the same way that he knew slipping for Miller would fool everyone. Hit it well, didn't he, Joffrey?
Yeah, he definitely did. And that was with respect to Joffrey and everybody else that was there. Like, obviously, he's saying with the assist. Watch the replay over and over again, everyone. Watch how we pressed. Watch how we hounded to get that ball back. First tackle we missed. Second tackle you missed. And usually after the second tackle's missed, they're away with it. But no. Third tackle came in. We got it. It was 3 up there. And to see that didn't happen last season. That was not even in the picture. The
ball then fell nicely for Gelhardt. It was in some space, in the right place at the right time. He could get himself set and hit it. It was a great strike. And then the equaliser right at the end. Can I just say, I thought, even though I think a draw is a fair result out of that, I thought we were like the better team. There was only one team that was going to win that, if either team was, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Though it sounds a bit daft when you dress it up like that, but
yeah, it's one of those when you look at the stats and everyone's going to be like, oh no, you can't say that. But at the game,
by the first 5 minutes, Charlton didn't threaten really until very late in the game, and people have been digging Ivo Panda out. I think he does have to do better with that first cross. It's easy. Excuse me. It's easy when we're sat watching and stuff like that. We're not in the heat of battle. I love it that the goalkeeper has the confidence to come out and try and claim that cross. The issue is there's no one there on the second ball once he's flapped at it and it's not got cleared properly. And then we have to scramble it behind for a corner. And then that happens. Free header on the 6-yard box. Joffrey lost his man. It's unfortunate, but what can you do? It's still... We're still 5 unbeaten. How have we been? How many times have we been 5 unbeaten in the last however long?
Paul, even at home, it's been at home.
At home
as well. At home, and it's not even just the amount of games unbeaten. It's at home. We had over a year of nothing at home, and it was painful. Every game was painful to go to.
We had 3 wins at home in a calendar year.
This is why the energy
managers.
Yeah, all the different matches. This is why the energy is back in the ground. All right, you can still criticize that we're not the loudest fans in the world and the atmosphere can be quiet. I will keep saying this with respect.
It was on Saturday, but it was symptomatic of the fact it was a bit of a dull game.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't even just want to say dull game.
And it wasn't easy on the eye, a lot of the football that was being played.
It was nervy, wasn't it? To be totally honest, when you're at a game and you're all excited, it's come on, let's go, you know. You sit back down in your seats and it kicks off, and then all of a sudden your first 5 minutes are like, oh dear. Oh no. Oh,
not again.
No. There's literally you sat there for the first 5-10 minutes and you can't really turn around and go, yeah, you know, you can't sing along to that when you're thinking, Yeah, he's got it wrong here. He's got it wrong here. But obviously, we grew into the game. Confidence came out. You know, we had a lot of shots. I mean, I think it was 6 on target. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
I have no
But
idea.
6 shots on target. I think the first half was 3, and the second half was 3 on target. So 9 shots in total. It was one of those games where we grew into it. And again, because of obviously the formation, the players that we had on, it was a totally different style of playing.
It was set up to be a bit more negative, wasn't it?
It was
You had
set up to be a bit more
teams there
negative.
set up to just be tight defensively.
And I was saying to my partner when so we're just chatting away, me and my missus, and I said, this is set up for Giles to get the ball and whip it as soon as he can and have someone run onto the end of it, like Joseph, with his kind of pace and strength to kind of get the ball from a little whip, or someone coming in like Joffrey as well, to kind of finish it off in that kind of zone area from those little whips. Unfortunately, Giles didn't get enough time on the ball to kind of get up the pitch, do the early deliveries. It still was being played as a kind of the general normal formation where he had the opportunity to pass it over to another central midfield as well. But because we were so light in those positions, it was a lot trickier for him to get across. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from Giles in any way, shape, or form, by the way.
You've segued me so nicely into what I was going to say. We kept trying to get the ball wide and cross it in. The issue we were having is I think we so desperately missed Ollie McBurney in that game, because Giles, he got the ball in a lot of times. Drama did, Coyle did, Ajay did when he was overlapping when we attacked forward. The issue was we had no one in the air, no one in the box capable of winning it in the air against their centre halves. They were bar Greg Doherty. They were a really, really big team. And what Doc lacks in height, he makes up for in work rate and sheer brutality.
He was very controlling, wasn't he? He controlled it for them. He was, do you know, it was one of those.
He just kept them ticking.
He kept, exactly, that's the word, Joe. He kept them ticking. And I hated it. I hated every little bit of it because I was just like, damn you, Doc. Damn you, all the way.
I love you, Doc, but I hate you, Doc.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, I think with McBurney in there, just harassing their defenders a little bit more, those crosses come off. But even Destan, right, when he came on, he offloaded the ball to Giles, who's obviously always looking to get that ball in the area. And Destan's not small, right? But there was one moment where he was just making absolutely no effort to get into the penalty area. And it wound me up so much because he was the one player we had in attack in that whole game who had the height to challenge for an aerial ball. And he just couldn't be asked to get in the box.
Do you know what, Joe? You there's the hammer, there's the nail, there's his head.
Bang!
Because there was a good 10 minutes of where I think I saw him walk 10 yards in a little box and I was just like, why aren't you running on to the end of this? Why isn't he going? You're the big target. You're the tallest one there.
He was a false 9, wasn't he? When there was no one else in the box for Giles to try and whip it into. He was sitting
beyond
deep.
Play. I wasn't impressed with him on Saturday at all. I was not impressed at him at all. So he needs to kind of pull some out to turn it around. Don't get me wrong, it's still early days. It's not enough to comment on how we fully feel about him. But out of everybody that came on that pitch, with the amount of substitutions that he's come on for, the amount of time out he's had, the rest, the training, the time frames that he's been at the club now, he should be busting a gut to try and secure some sort of starting spot up top for now.
Especially with McBurney injured. We don't know how long McBurney's going to be out for with that calf issue. Speaking of which, our injury rap sheet is...
I'm going on mute. You can rinse this one off because this is huge.
Okay, so players who I think walk into our starting 11 on any given day that are injured. John Lundstrom, Elliot Matazzo, Mo Balumi, Liam Miller, and Ollie McBurney. That's half a starting 11. Plus, when you factor in that Matt Crooks has to have surgery, you could arguably put him in that category as well. So that could be 6 starting 11 players that are injured. Plus Casey Palmer, who's out long term. Plus doubts over David Akintola and Akin Famawo. Plus the lack of fitness in Brandon Williams and Joel Endala. Then on the fringes, James Furlong, Harry Vaughan, Stan Ashby. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 14 players, of which there are fitness doubts. That's just mental. We're losing a starting 11 player every game at the minute, and it can't carry on like that, surely. But this is Hull City, so whip the Mick McCarthy meme out, because it can. We had 4 serious season-ending knee injuries last year. Of course, it can carry on like this.
You want to cry when you do that, Leicester, don't you?
I'm looking at it thinking, is there any more to go?
Yeah. I mean, even you got to think, Louis Coyle's just come back from injury.
Yeah.
As well. So he's slow.
We got away with one with Gilo.
We got away with the one with Gilo, which is nuts to say. You know, Semi's gonna pick one up potentially next game.
Well, Shemi. Well, it's just Shemi's in the shame. I can't speak. Shemi's in the shame. I'm mixing my S's up. Shemi is in the same boat as Acun Famawo. They are 2 centre halves that we brought in who are notoriously injury prone, and that, in a sense, is what you get when you're.
I actually thought he took a knock against Charlton, and he started well, the thing is, he did actually start holding his leg and going, and I thought that wasn't that big of a challenge. If anything, the hardest part about it was you having. I was like, the hardest part about it was like, you've just had to run 10 yards and just challenge him off it. You didn't even go down. But then all of a sudden it was like, and I thought, it can't be your hammy. You weren't going that fast. You didn't whack the ball away that hard. So it can't be your hammy. I do see this list getting longer. But I am very concerned to the point of, obviously we've got the next few games. I still feel we've got enough players to do the. You've got enough depth for a change.
Yeah, well, look, McBurney, I'm not sure if he'll be back for Norwich or not, but he could be back for Derby or Pompey. Lundstrom and Balumi, the same, could be back for Pompey. If not, all 3 of those players will definitely be back before the international break. Crooks, it looks like it's an issue he can play through. It's just, how long do we let him do it? And with the injuries out,
he's operation scheduled, isn't it now? It's
I'm not sure.
Time.
I didn't see the full. I didn't watch Ajun's Q&A. I've just seen like the summary of it.
It was hard to watch it. The stream kept on cutting in and out for most people, if I'm honest with you. So it was really hard. But no, I believe
we've got match minutes into Brandon Williams now with the 21s. He's had a series of games for them. With the crisis out wide, with Miller, Balumi, Akintola all injured, the door is open for Endala to come back in, because he looked very bright early on and he's not had any opportunities really since. You've just got to hope then that the depth stuff in terms of Akintola and Famawo sorts itself out. We know that Matazzo is not going to be back for another month or so. He might be training, but it's not. It's an ACL. He's been out since February. It's going to be 10 months by the time he's playing again. Palmer, he's out till January, and then he's out of the door when he's
In
not
January.
out. Yeah. Then it is Crooks, Miller, because we don't know the extent. Look, injuries are awful. It's such a nightmare being a Hull City fan because we always seem to have players injured. Shall we talk about that Q&A quickly?
Go on, bring a few up then. Go on.
So, Ajun was asked about Ozan Tufan. He said he'd love him back. They tried, but it wasn't right. All I've got to say on that is Tufan loves Hull, but he loves home and probably a bit more money more.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Ozan back because he was a fan favourite. It was ace having Ozan Tufan around the football club. But we'll see on that one. But Ajun does want a number 10 on loan in January to fill that remaining loan spot, which means Oscar Zambrano will not be coming to Hull City in January if that's what he's trying to fill that loan spot with. He made a little comment about Zambrano. Well, I say he made a little comment. He massively skirted round the question.
Yeah. It was almost a no comment, wasn't it?
He basically said, oh, yeah, well, in the summer we had a load of issues with, that we needed sorting out very quickly. And it's very handy to know or to be very close to the guy who owns Maribor. I heard he's quite a nice guy. But he didn't answer the question directly because he didn't want to piss off the Slovenian section of his multi-club ownership model, knowing that Zambrano is there purely because he couldn't sign for us. The same goes for a lad from South America, Luis Fernando Carrao, something like that, Carrao. He was on trial with the 21s for a bit in pre-season, but because of our issues, he went to Maribor.
Which he brought up as well about that, how that all came about as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And now I've mentioned the 21s. The biggest thing to come out of that for me was the academy. I was talking to someone at the academy today who wasn't aware that Ajun had said X or Y was in the pipeline. I was talking to them about when Ajun went up to Bishop Burton with Andy Dawson on Friday. And he was speaking to he interrupted training to have that chat with the players with the players and staff that he posted on his Instagram, by the way. So I'm not sure how well that went down. But he went up, he saw Bishop Burton, he saw it at its windiest, at its coldest, at its most brutal. Him and all his entourage were in big coats. They had all the snoods pulled right up because Bishop Burton is just, if you've never been, Chris, it is just so
I'm
cold.
a student. I'm a Bishop Burton student. I played for the footy team there. So
you're an ex-student. You know how cold it is then.
I know, but it's like that. Yeah.
It is Baltic there at the best of times. If you ever go to watch a 21s game or an 18s game or whatever at Bishop Burton, if you look at the weather, always just predict at Bishop Burton it's going to feel 5 degrees colder.
Yeah.
100. It's how you've got to work. It's how you've got to work this. If anyone in chat has, is ever going to go. He mentioned, before we go on to that, actually, now it's in chat, he mentioned a little bit about Sergei, said he's going to be our manager for a very long time, and he wants the fans to come up with a chant for him. So, to the brains in our fan base, come on now. I'm not sure if anyone asked about this.
Came up with one, but say now it's a bit naughty. Oh,
Sergei Yakirovich. No.
What is it? He's 6'3".
He's harders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we bring Burstow back in January? I'm not sure if Ajun mentioned this, but I think any club with any sense would leave Burstow there to keep him developing, to keep him playing.
And it's not out of something where we would turn around with Burstow and say, no, we don't need him back. What you want about? It's not that. It's not at all, because Bairstow, to be honest, I'd love him back. I've always been a Bairstow fan. Even last season, I was a Bairstow fan. My only complaint was he was always played out of position. However, now he's being played in position, and I know it's a lower league, but wow, what is he doing there? And
Doing all right, isn't he?
He is a little, yeah. You can't take that away from the player as well, because it would be not just detrimental to his development, but mentally, he's really happy there at the moment. And if you force a player away to come back to us just to be a bench player, because that's theoretically what he would be, a bench player when everyone's back kind of fit and healthy around the January time period, it's not good for him. He will hate the club more, want to just go away. You just can't do that. I appreciate during the season, let him go out there, bring him back at the end, and then we'll see what happens. If he ends up moving on, he moves on. If he ends up staying, that's brilliant. It's not a disadvantage to us.
But he's not actively going to impact our season, so it's a moot point. Final thing on the Q&A, the academy. Having been up to Bishop Burton, he's seen it there. I don't think he's ever been to Bishop Burton before. So he's gone up there, and he announced later that day that the council have more or less signed off on a new academy facility next to the stadium, using those 3 old AstroTurf pitches that they'll renovate and what have you. I'd imagine they'd build a building where everything can be based, office space, changing facilities, stuff like that. So the academy has a proper home. Although they're at home at Bishop Burton in a sense, it's not where you'd expect a typical Category 2 academy to be based, just in a college, in a sixth form college, that's half an hour away from the city or anything like that. So it's a very positive development. It shows a willingness to work with the council, even when the whole fair stuff isn't going to come off, and that's not going to budge begrudgingly. But that's quite a big development, isn't it, Chris? It's a very, very big development, a significant development in the
step in the right direction as well.
Yeah, it will help, because we were once a Category 1 academy, right? If we want to get back to that, and we're going to need to upgrade from the facilities at Bishop Burton. And now ex-academy player once said to me they went to Liverpool to play a pre-season friendly there a couple of years ago. And he said the levels are just ridiculous. Like, we're training with sheep and horses in the field next to us. And like, they've got this full first team standard facility that they spend every day in.
It's true. It's true. It's crazy. I mean, but do you know what? I'm going to go back to when Ajun kind of first took over. And when it was announced, we're not really looking at the academy. We're not really looking at anything. And
I think he's learned now that he needs to look at the academy, because that's how you make money.
Exactly. It's a full flip now, isn't it? It's a full flip. He's kind of realized, where these players coming from, how we're going to, you're making a business at the end of the day, and your product are players. And if you're having to buy a player for a cost and take a gamble to see if you're going to make a profit or loss, then that's a big gamble. However, if you're bringing players through and your investment is pretty much wages of a coach and facility that you're kind of technically will already have or need anyway down the line, you're not overly investing, and it's always going to be some sort of profit in the future. So the business model's obviously changed, rightly so, because when it first came out saying they weren't really looking at the academy, I thought they were insane. Absolutely insane.
Given what it had produced in the years prior when it was prioritized.
Yes, exactly. So it's nice to get back on track.
They've had a big drive in external recruitment, right? Cahill McCarthy is a great example of that. Aidan Sheehu, both of them on the bench, great example of that. Archie Howard, who's the third choice goalkeeper now. and Callum Yam, who sort of share that role, they're both external. So although you do still get the players who've come right through the system, like Bobby Moore, who trains with the first team quite a lot and he's only 16. Coming that still happens. The external recruitment drive and the resources that the academy have to go out and get players like that, it needs to bear more fruit than it does. And whether that's a change the profile you're looking for slightly, or just have a better pathway, then that will be what it will be.
Yeah.
Anyway, looking ahead to Norwich then. Please don't sack Liam Manning before Saturday.
I am with you on that train. I am.
That's all I've got to say about the game. Just if they don't sack Liam Manning, I think we will go to Carrow Road and win for the first time in 10 years.
I don't say what I'm going to say because everyone's just going to hate me for it. It's got us messing up all over it for a team that are absolutely absolutely awful, have a manager that just doesn't clearly have a clue on what squad he's got at the moment, and listening to anything around him. I mean, great. It's the perfect time for us to play him. But it's also that kind of game where we will absolutely mess something up when we shouldn't mess it up. It is. It's written in the stars. However, as I've said, it is the perfect time to play them. But if we had kind of our full squad, I know we've grinded out results. We got a great result against Leicester. You know, we grinded out a 1-1 on Saturday. Away at Norwich, as you stated, is a very hard place for us to get any result. When we played them last season at Norwich, when they was it 4-3, 4-0, 3?
4. Zhao made his debut and should have had a goal.
Yeah, and I remember watching the game thinking, God, Norwich are class. But then at the same time, I thought,
they were just so inconsistent last year, weren't they?
Yeah, they were so inconsistent
last year. Can I just say as well, I've got my stats wrong. I've double-checked myself. It's not 10 years since we won there. It's since September 2010. Since we last won at Carrow Road, and we've won one of our last 7 games against them in all places.
So 15 years.
So, yeah, it's...
Yeah, that's an interesting stat, isn't it, folks?
Yeah. Stat against anyone who's going to Carrow Road. But if there's any year to break that duck, then surely...
This is it.
Surely this has to be it. The form that Norwich are in, they are all over the place. The figurehead flying in from America, Mark Atanasio, I think he's called. He's going down to Norfolk, going over to Norfolk from America this week to check things out. I just hope that he gives Liam Manning until after Sheffield Wednesday, because they're as much of a basket case as they are. And that would take them obviously past our game. But yeah, they lost to recent form. They've lost to Swansea on Saturday, lost to Derby before that, Bristol City before that, Ipswich before that, West Brom before that, drew with Stoke, lost to Wrexham, drew with Coventry, and beat. The last time they won was the 30th of August when they beat Blackburn, who had a man sent off. I think, they're not in brilliant form. They've won twice all season. They've lost all of their last 5. They've conceded 18 goals, which is somehow still less than us. But they're
It is a strange. I mean, looking at the last games, I know we're saying, look, they've lost XYZ, they've conceded XYZ. Coventry was 1-1. That's a decent result in September. Wrexham was 3-2, so there was goals. And let's be right, we know what it's like to lose to Wrexham, that scoreline.
Well, no, we just lost to them on pens.
And pence. Yeah, true, actually. Stoke, again, at that time, 27th September, Stoke were flying. So a 1-1 draw, not too bad. West Brom, I mean, West Brom are pretty decent at that time.
But it's when you're winless in 5 and you've not won since August that.
But you've got to look at the teams. That's Ipswich Town, Bristol City. All right, Derby's questionable. Swansea have turned around. I mean, look at their results recently. So, I mean, based off West Brom, Ipswich, and Bristol, they didn't have easy games other than Derby, which kind of they should have put to bed.
But
it's one of those where
it's not easy, is it?
It's not easy. No, don't get me wrong. You would have expected more out of that.
He says it in chat, right? If we're going there with Lundstrom, Bellumi, Miller, McBurney, all fit,
yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind it would be a 7-0 to Hull City if we seriously. That's the scoreline. I would when we do our little predictions, I would actually say 7-0 if that was our lineup against Norwich. But because it's not, and because of the injuries we have,
you've just got to hope we don't miss McBurney too much.
Exactly. I mean, would we want McBurney to play? Of course you would. Do I feel like he's going to be back in time to play this game?
No, I'm not. I think they'll just leave him until before the international break now.
Yeah,
and then at least he's got 2 weeks to recover.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying McBurney is the one all and be all, but obviously McBurney converts the job.
He's only McBurney, for God's sake.
Yeah, so
form he was in before the injury and stuff like that. He's only McBurney. Come on now.
Yeah.
Should we do those predictions then? In the absence of Will, Nathaniel, and Ant, none of them have sent the predictions in beforehand. So they are all lumbered with the 3-0 City, which could very well happen.
Yeah.
Chris, what are you going for?
I would actually say the 3-0 City, but we just keep conceding. So I'm going to say 3-1.
I was thinking the same, but I'm going to go for 2-1.
Okay.
2-1. And the 1-1 bot will, of course, predict 1-1. We haven't got an updated table for this week because the Leicester and Charlton, the Charlton scores weren't applied to the last one, and I got the results right in terms of I predicted a 2-1 and a draw, but I just got them the wrong way around. So, oh well, it is what it is. Thank you very much for. Well, have you got any final thoughts, Chris? First of all,
guys. Let's just think positively. Let's keep going. Let's get behind the lads. Obviously, it's in a way at Norwich. I hope the fans that are travelling to that game stay safe. Get behind the lads as they always do. I think it's going to be one of those seasons where we can be overcritical on individuals, and I expect a lot more from us when it comes to being that kind of critical side of things, because I'm very open. I think we're very open about those side of it. But with respect to this Saturday, it's got to be a win. So come on, City. Thank you. Like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe. Follow us if you're watching us on Twitter, where most people are who are watching this at the minute. If you're listening to this back on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure you give us a nice, good rating on there as well. It goes a long way to helping us out. Up them Tigers. Goodbye.